Hey, back. In this video, we are going to be rebuilding Bournemouth. Minimum 3 seasons, maximum 5. The goal is to win the Premier League and win the Champions League with them. We're going to add a little twist. If we don't make Europe, we have to sell one of our top 3 most valuable players, and that will apply, of course, for every season that we don't make Europe. So we better hope that we can make Europe ASAP. Without further ado, let's get into this rebuild. If you enjoy, please make sure you like and subscribe. This is how the squad is looking in the first season. Of course, we will sign real life players and make the real life sales, and also try and bring in anyone they are linked with in real life. But looking at this team in the first season, if we are to make European football season 1, we're going to have to make some serious improvements. So the first signing, of course, is someone they brought in real life, Alvaro Rodriguez, coming in as a striker, new signing. And following him is new centre-back, very, very good young talent, coming in from Benfica. I think this is a very good signing. Looking forward to using him. Antonio Silva is one of our own signings, bringing in a right-back, Sacha Bowie, the Frenchman, coming in. He should be starting for us. Potentially we could be using as backup. We will see. But he's coming in as our third signing. As for the transfer history, we sold Traore, loaned rather, Jimenez, brought in Antonio Silva, brought in Alvaro Rodriguez, and we also brought in Sacha Bowie. Obviously, 4 of these deals happen in real life, and then, of course, the Sacha Bowie is our own signing. So with the new signings, this is the squad. Evan Nilsson, Krupi, Rayan, Scott, Adams, Christie, Hill, Silva, Arujo, Trufa, and Petrovic. This is the bench, and there's quite a few good players on that bench. The bench is looking a bit solid, in my opinion. There's quite a bit of depth there, and even in the reserves, there are some decent players. They have quite a lot of mid-70, high-70 rated players in this squad. Looking at this team, I'm not sure we can get Europe in the first season, if I'm honest, but let's hope we can. We've reached the end of season 1, and my days, we were absolutely miles off Europe, finishing 14th in the league. That is an absolutely atrocious first season. Now, of course, as the rules, as I said, we are now going to have to sell one of our top 3 most valuable players. That is absolutely abysmal for the first season. 14th in the league. FA Cup winners, hoping we might have won a trophy and qualified for Europe. We didn't win the FA Cup. Sunderland were the FA Cup winners, and the Carabao Cup winners were Man United, so we didn't have any trophy to add to our tally. As for the statistics, Krupi got 22, Rayan 21, Kluivert got himself 13 goals, Scott got 7, Christie got 5, and then the assists, Kluivert with 8, Scott with 6, Adams with 6, Krupi with 6, and Rayan also with 5. Here are our top 3 most valuable players, Krupi, Rayan, and Antonio Silva. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's between Krupi and Rayan, as I don't want to sell Antonio Silva, who's a new signing. And I do think one of Krupi and Rayan would want to leave if this happened in real life. Potentially both, right, if they missed out on Europe. But I think the most likely to leave, and I know we got injured in real life, but the most likely to leave in season 2, if they got missed out on Europe, would be Krupi. So he is going to be the player that I'm going to transfer list, and we will see how much money we get in for him. And this is how the squad looks at the end of the season. Now, of course, Krupi will be out the door, and I'm looking at this squad here, and there's definitely a lot of areas that we can improve on. There's a lot of flaws with this team. I'm looking at this team, and I think potentially we could improve a midfielder, one of the centre mids, potentially in that 10 role as well. We could definitely improve one of the centre-backs as well. We could upgrade a starting centre-back, bring in a new starting centre-back. And I also think potentially a backup left-back for Trufa, as we don't really have anyone there that can play backup. Wrapping up season 1, we're about to go into season 2. Hopefully, we can make the right additions, and I'm praying that we can have a much better second season, because 14th, that far off Europe, leaves me with a lot of concern going into season 2. However, of course, as we didn't make Europe, we're going to have to see Eli Krupi Jr. depart. He leaves us to Arsenal for a fee of 56 million. Gutted to see him go, but it is one of the rules I set. Hopefully, he doesn't go and punish us anytime in the future. And with the departure of Eli Krupi, Rodriguez, the new signing in real life, is now going to come in, step up, and let's see if he can be the main guy. Let's see how he develops. He's going to be filling in Krupi's shoes. Hopefully, he's able to do so. Our first signing is El Canous, coming in from Leicester. In real life, got relegated to League 1. He'll come in and he'll start as our number 10. He's immediately one of our better players, and let's hope he can develop even further. And then following him is Asan Ouadragao, coming in from RB Leipzig. He's a wonder kid, comes in, he'll start for us in that centre midfield role, and hopefully he can become a world-class midfielder in the future, with Pietro Camuso coming in after him as our new backup centre-back. Once Antonio Silva is fit, he will be the backup to Antonio Silva. And then, like I said, we needed a backup left-back to Trufa, so we have brought in Adama Boiro, who comes in as our new backup left back. As for our transfer history, Alex Toth got loaned out to Stuttgart. We sold Roman Fabra to Brentford, for 6 mil. Sold Jimenez for 23 mil to Chelsea. Rodriguez we brought in. We sold Krupi as we had to due to not making European football. And then we brought in El Canus, Camuso and Boyra. So we finished 14th first season. And technically we got better as we now finished 13th in season 2. But that is absolutely horrendous. This team should be doing a lot better than finishing 13th. And going into season 3, we're going to need a lot of improvements as the goal within 5 seasons is to win the Prem and Champions League. And currently, we are miles off it, finishing not even mid-table, 13th. That is absolutely horrendous. As for the Carabao Cup, Chelsea beat Liverpool 1-0 in the final. As for our player statistics, Rayan got 16 goals, Rodriguez 15, El Canus 13, Scott 9, and Bowie got himself 4. Scott got 7 assists, El Canus with 6, Adams with 5, Rayan with 5, and Rodriguez with 4 assists. Looking at this squad, I think we're going to need a new striker, a new attacking midfielder, potentially 2 new midfielders, 1 starter, 1 backup. And then I think if you look there, we're also going to probably need a better backup to Petrovic in net as well. A lot of new additions needed after finishing 13th, and we're going to hopefully push for European football in season 3. Wrapping up season 2 and going into season 3, a lot of changes, like I said, is needed. We are going to need a big budget from the board, which, like you can see there, we have been given 103 million. However, there is bad news as a lot, and I mean 4 players, right, all pretty big names, refusing to sign a new deal with a year left on their contract. So we are going to be saying goodbye to a lot of names, and we're going to have a very, very good window here to make sure that we improve as a squad, which is a must after finishing 13th. First player we're going to be saying our goodbyes to is James Tavernier, who's leaving, didn't want to sign a new contract. And then similarly, of course, following him, Tyler Adams also leaving the club, refusing to sign a new deal. And we still go on here as Cliver is the next man to leave after not wanting to sign a new deal. Now, you might think we're finished there. No, there's a 4th. Evan Nilsson as well, leaving and not wanting to sign a new deal. We have lost there 4 key players, part of that squad. Just like that, we are about to have a very, very good window here to make up for this. You might be wondering at this stage, I've said we've sold 4 players, but who's the most valuable player? Because none of them were one of our more valuable top 3 players. So who have we sold? Well, here you have it. Alex Scott is the man we chose to sell. Our midfielders just got a whole load worse this summer. We're going to have to bring in a lot of new midfielders as he is the man we decided to sell and he departs for Man United. Starting off our signings, Gustavo Sarr. I think this is a top signing, a top midfielder. He comes in, very good rating. He's young, he can develop. He'll be good now as well. He can play in the 10, he can play in the centre mid. Perfect player for us. Following Sarr is another midfielder. He's more of a centre mid, box to box. This one, Peter Sukic, coming in from Inter Milan for quite a hefty fee, 40 million. But we needed to make these kind of signings after losing the likes of Tyler Adams in that midfield. And then following Sukic is a number 10 coming in, young. He's good now. Will develop in the future. 100%. He's English. Harvey Elliott coming in from Liverpool. I think this will be a very good signing. Like I said, him and Sarr and Sukic, we've really targeted the midfield. Now we did make a 4th signing. The cutscene didn't record that player, Emmanuel Omega. Having lost Evan Nilsson, we needed to bring a striker. He will come in, he will develop in the future whilst being our new starting striker now. Hopefully he can shine for us and become a top world-class player in the future. Bringing him in from Strasbourg, of course, after the departure of Evan Nilsson. So our transfer history, Alex Scott was the man we sold due to not making European football as our punishment. He was the valuable player that we sold. We sold him to United for 51.5 million. Then we bring in Gustavo Sarr. We also bring in Peter Sukic as a midfielder. We bring in Emmanuel Omega from Strasbourg. And we also bring in another midfielder, being Harvey Elliott. And then, of course, a lot of the players wanted to leave, having a year left on their deal. Evan Nilsson, Cliver, Adams, and Tavernier, who I all wanted to keep, but they didn't want to sign a new contract. So here's what these new signings mean for our team going into season 3. Up top, Emmanuel Omega of El Canus and Rayan out wide. Rodriguez, Sukic, and Sarr in midfield 3. Diakite and Silva, our centre-back partnership, with Truffert and Bowie, our fullbacks, and then Petrovic in net. And then we have a pretty solid bench, but I think it could get better. But our starting 11 has 100% improved. Hopefully, going into this, simulating season 3, this time, we are able to qualify for Europe. And here we are. We have reached the end of season 3. And it is just going, well, I'll say bad to worse. We're getting better, but we're still very average. We're 10th in the league. We are currently sitting 10th in the Premier League, and it is just absolutely abysmal for us. Hopefully, season 4, we're going to have to make Champions League football there. Why this team's not doing that well and getting European football, I will never know. But yeah, finished season 3, another failure of a season, sitting 10th. As for the FA Cup, Chelsea won the FA Cup, beating Burnley 2-1, and they done the domestic cup double, also winning the Carabao Cup. Season 3 stats: Ryan got 16 goals, Rodriguez 16, Sukic got 13 goals, El Khanous with 8 goals, Emmanuel Omega only got 7, Sukic 6 assists, Khanous 6 assists, Sarr got 5, Dragao got 5, as did Rayan and Rodriguez. Now, I wanted to check quickly, how's Eli Krupi Jr. doing since we sold him 2 seasons ago? 87 rated at Arsenal. What the things we could do with him right now. I'm gutted we didn't make Europe that season. I'm gutted he's the player we chose to sell because he has become an absolute joke over there. Look at this team, end of season 3. I think the improvements we need to make is we need a starting right back, potentially a new starting centre back. I think we need to improve the midfield depth with potentially a new starting midfielder, and I think we also need to improve the backup to Petrovic in there. Now, wrapping up season 3, going into season 4, our best finish has been 10th. We need to sort it out instantly, but we didn't make Europe again, so we're going to have to sell a key player. You will see who that is shortly. But what we desperately needed was a lot of money to be able to spend and improve the team. And our board have just done that. They have given us 116 million alongside player sales. Hopefully, we are able to improve the team even more and finally make Europe. Now, the player we sold, the big name, most valuable player we sold was Bilal El Khanous. We brought him in season 2. And he's leaving start of season 4. 65 million once again to Manchester United. We're going to have to improve his position now and find a suitable replacement, as that is a big loss. We needed to make some big signings in season 4. The first player we signed was Zakaria El Ouadi, a new starting right back. Very good player we bring in from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And our second signing is Malik Tillman, coming in as a number 10, of course losing El Khanous, coming in from Bayer Leverkusen. Hopefully he'll be able to provide that depth and potentially even be a starter for us. And then following him is Pierre Kalulu, who I want to be our new starting centre-back alongside Antonio Silva, hopefully able to strengthen and solidify that defence. And then our fourth signing, a very, very good midfielder coming in from Marseille, is Quinton Timber. We spent 40 million on him. Hopefully he'll come in, start and make that midfield even stronger. And then, like I said, we needed to bring in a backup goalkeeper to Petrovic. We've brought in a winner, a Premier League winner, an experienced player on the cheap, aging goalkeeper, Edison. Now, here is our transfer history. Of course, we brought in Timber, we brought in Tillman, we brought in Kalulu, we brought in Ouadi. We sold El Khanous due to not making Europe to Man United for 65 million. And then we, of course, also brought in Edison as a backup. We sold Arujo, sold Milicevic, and we sold Boiro as well. This is what these new signings mean for the starting 11. Rodriguez, Rayan, Elliott, Sarr, Timber, Dragao, Kalulu, Silva, El Ouadi, Trufa, and Petrovic. This is the bench. It looks a lot better now. The 11 as well. Got players like Sukic on the bench, Tillman on the bench. Looking at that, the depth improving. Hopefully, going into season 4, as we simulate the season, this team surely is good enough to make Champions League football. If not Champions League football, at least any kind of European football. And here we are at the end of season 4. We were 1 point off 4th. We were so close to making Champions League football, but we do qualify for Europe. We won't have to sell anyone. We're in the Europa League. Unfortunately, we won't be able to win the Champions League in this save. But we can at least potentially win the Europa League, and hopefully we can win the Premier League next season as well. 5th in the league is a big jump from finishing 10th the previous season, so I'll take it. As for the FA Cup, Arsenal won the FA Cup, and then the Carabao Cup, Liverpool beat Tottenham 2-1. We are yet to win any kind of trophy with Bournemouth so far. In terms of statistics, Rayan, again, our top scorer, 15. Sukic got 13 goals. Gustavo Sarr with 11. Timber got 10 goals. Harvey Elliott also getting himself 10 goals. Then in terms of assists, Elliott got 11, Sarr with 9, Dragao got 5, Sukic with 5, Rayan also getting himself 5 assists. And you look at our team at the end of the season, we made Rayan a striker, he's gone up to 90 rated. I'm looking at this squad as a whole here, and I do think there are definite improvements we can make in season 5. The main focus in terms of bringing in... No, hold on. The main focus in terms of incomings in season 5 is I'm going to try and bring in 2 top players, 86 rated plus, hopefully. One being a new number 10, and the next being a new starting left back to start over Trufa, and then Trufa will become backup. Wrapping up season 4, we of course qualified for the Europa League in season 5, but we now need to go all out and win the Premier League. And once again, we need our board to do us a massive favour. And in back-to-back seasons, they do. They give us a budget of and 73 million. This is a perfect opportunity to splash the cash on a new starting 10 and a new starting left back. Here we are, our new starting 10, Francisco Conceição will come in. Like I said, he'll start for us instantly. Hopefully can be that new difference maker in our attack alongside Rayan. Hopefully he can come in, bring some goals, bring some assists, and we can potentially be an attacking force this season. And then improving on our left back as Truefab now becomes backup, we bring in Brown as our new left back. He's 86 rated. Very good player. Hopefully can solidify us defensively and bring that attacking threat on the left-hand side as well. The only two players we signed in Season 5, Conceição as a new starting 10, and then Brown, who is our new starting left back. What that means for the team in Season 5, Rayan up top, with Dragao and Conceição the 10s, with Sarr, Timber and Sukic the midfield 3, Silva, Kalulu our centre-back partnership, with Elouadi and Brown our fullbacks, and then Petrovic in net. The bench is looking solid as well. Hopefully, looking at this team, we can have our best season yet. Now, the goal is to win the Premier League. It's our last season. The goal was to win the league and Champions League. We can't win the Champions League, but we can still win the Premier League. We're about to simulate Season 5. Let's hope that this team, with Rayan being 90 rated up top, can win us the Prem. Before we find out if we have won the Prem or not, we have an FA Cup final before the end of the season. This is a chance to at least win ourselves a trophy. At home to Norwich is an absolute perfect opportunity here to make sure we can get ourselves some silverware. And this is our lineup for the final in the FA Cup against Norwich. Rayan, Dragao, Conceição, Sukic, Timber, Sarr, Brown, Kalulu, Silva, Elouadi, and then Petrovic in there. It's a very solid lineup. I've got faith that we are able to bring ourselves a trophy in the last season. 8 minutes in the game, Rayan has the ball. He gives it to Sukic, who then gives it to Conceição, plays it back to Sukic, and he buries it, making it 1-0 in the FA Cup final. We take the lead against Norwich. And not long after, Forson has the ball. He gives it to Toure, and he just bends it home. Absolutely shambolic defending, and Norwich go level just 8 minutes after our opener. And things are about to get bad to worse, as Spendy has the ball and he just plays it into Toure, who's somehow onside. Terrible goalkeeping, and Toure gets a brace, and we are 2-1 down in the 76th minute in the FA Cup final. Just 3 minutes later, we get the ball, give it to Sukic, and once again, he has a brace in the final. Sukic fires another home, and it's 2-2. He is coming clutch here in the cup final. Now, in extra time, we needed to bring on some fresh legs, so we put on Emmanuel Omega up top, Rayan now out wide. Let's hope Omega is able to do something magic and can grab us a winner, or any of these subs, Elliot, anyone. Let's hope they're able to come on as fresh legs and make an impact. And here it is, Timber with Omega there central. He squares it, and Omega fires it home, never missing that. In the 115th minute, he has put us 3-2 up in the FA Cup final. Surely we don't bottle it from here. Regaining a lead. We took the lead first, and now we are 3-2 up in the 115th minute. Petrovic going crazy. And that is that. We win the FA Cup final. We do win ourselves a trophy at the minimum with Bournemouth. We'll see how we did in the league, but we've managed to beat Norwich in extra time 3-2 in the FA Cup final, and we do bring silverware back to Bournemouth. Here is the trophy lift. Antonio Silva, been here since Season 1. They signed him in real life. Going to lift the FA Cup trophy as our captain. Get in there. At least at the minimum, we can save one a trophy. But now let's hope we've also won the Premier League. Please. It wasn't meant to be. The last season in the Premier League, we finished 4th. We don't win the league. We finished 15 points off it. We were miles off it. Our team was a joke. I would have liked to have thought we had a chance at winning the league, but we were just quite a way away. At least at the minimum, we won the FA Cup. But yeah, another rebuild. We haven't won the Premier League, and we have not won the Champions League. 4th place, our best finish with Bournemouth in 5 years. In terms of the Carabao Cup winners, that was Sunderland. We never won that trophy either. All we won was the FA Cup. In terms of the player stats, Rayan was a joke, getting 26 goals. Conceição with 25. Sukic got 12 goals. Sarr got 11. Asan Ouadraogo also got himself 11 goals. A lot of these players had ridiculous seasons. Timber, 17 assists. Sarr got himself 11 assists. Asan Ouadraogo with 10. Sukic got 9. Conceição got himself 8 assists, but it just wasn't meant to be in terms of the Premier League. And this is the squad we finished the rebuild with Bournemouth with. This team wasn't able to win the Premier League. I think we built a very, very good team. Rayan, Ouadraogo, Conceição, Sukic, Timber, Sarr, Kalulu, Silva, Elouadi, Brown and Petrovic was our starting 11 in the final season. I do think this team could have been good enough to win the Premier League, but it also definitely could have been better. But yeah, that's another season, another rebuild where we have not been able to win nor the Premier League or the Champions League. And that is the end of the 5-year rebuild with Bournemouth. Once again, we came close. We won the FA Cup at least. We built a very good squad. I say we came close. We didn't actually really come close to either competition. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. I do think we built a solid team, like I said. But ultimately, all we left with was the FA Cup. Let me know if you did enjoy this video and if you like the idea of adding, you know, a kind of consequence like we did there for not qualifying for European football. But if you did enjoy this rebuild, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.